All right, everybody. I believe we are live. Let's pull up Facebook. Dooba. I finally have a second monitor set up, so I feel all official. I am live. Heckle yes. All right, welcome to our second live stream of Politics and Poker, the Gen Z political podcast for and by Gen Z youth. As always, I'm your host, Reese Axel-Adams. Today we will be joined by Michelle Higgs. She is a Democratic candidate for, oh shit, I should have looked this up. I am a bad podcaster right now. Quickly scrolling through my feed. I want to say 66. I want to say 66. I could be wrong though. Well, I can't find what I'm looking for. Oh fuck it, just 60. District 60. That's right. She is all who? She is also the founder of the Indiana Rural Summit, which is a really awesome group that I'm kind of affiliated with, kind of not, as a candidate. But yeah, she did that last year, or maybe a couple years ago. I don't remember. And yeah, she's awesome. So we're excited to have her on. This is our second guest in as many episodes, which is awesome. Oh, I didn't even realize that today was September 11th. It is. We can throw that in the show notes here. I will talk more with Michelle about 9/11. Uh, but yeah, and the impact that it had not just on uh, New York, but also on Indiana and the nation. You know, the United States has never been the same since then. So I just realized that. Good thing too. That adds a good topic. So yeah, if you want to follow along, uh, I don't have any socials for politics and poker yet. I need to do that, but just follow my main page. Um, I before we go on any further, I'm going to. I'm quite happy because we just launched one of our first ads. Let's see here. Show on stream. Which Facebook are we on? Hello. Oh. Let's try this again. Screen share. Let's just let's just do that. All right. I'm Axel-Adams, and I'm running to be. I'm Axel-Adams, and I'm running to be your. Oh, oops. Let's change it to something a little bit more professional. Now, I don't know how Ethan Lawson and most of his Republican friends dress, but I can guarantee you it ain't like this.
We need hard-working, everyday Hoosiers who know what it's like to have some grime on their face and boots on their feet. Not some fancy pants politicians who all they know how to do is push pencils and sit behind a desk all day. I'm Reese Axel-Adams. I've got the mud on my hands and the scars to prove that I know what I'm doing. So, I've only got one question for you. I'm in. Are you? Join me in helping to build a worker-focused future for our youth. One in which they can get a good education, whether it be in the union trades, for a company, or freelancing like I do. I'll see you all guys later. Ciao.
This message has been paid for by Reese for District 53.
All day. I'm Reese Axel-Adams. I've got the mud on my hands and the scars.
There we go. Hi, I'm back. Let's see here. Fresh. Where's my live? There's my live. Anybody watching? Okay. So yeah, she'll be on in about a half hour. I'm excited for that. Let's pull up Facebook on my phone. All right. See that we have a couple people. I don't know how long Michelle can stay on, and I don't know how long I'll be live. But if anybody wants to come on, let me know. Drop a comment below, and I'll send you either the link, or if you want to schedule something, definitely shoot me a calendar. I'll definitely shoot you a Calendly. And yeah, let's talk sometime, especially if you're a candidate. I'd love to hear from you and talk to you. So I just inviting some people to the live. Okay. Oh, you know what? You know what? Just for the hell of it, because we've got a couple guests, or not guests, because we've got a couple watchers to entertain you all. I'm gonna play some Arkham Asylum until I hear back from Michelle. I don't know. I often stream um, video games, and so I thought we could play some of that before we get to Michelle. I don't really have anything outlined right now for the show aside from my interview with Michelle. Um, oh, jeez, that's loud in my ears. Um, and so, yeah, so I guess I'll do another introduction. I'm Reese Axel-Adams. I'm running for Indiana State House District 53. And we're just here chatting away on my Politics and Poker podcast. It's early enough in the day, so no drinks, maybe a cigar. Because as you know, politics and poker indeed makes the guy a heavy smoker. So let's this up. Oh, you get a preview of my show notes from Michelle. Here we go. If you haven't played Arkham Asylum, it's a great game. It's the first in a really good series of video games, telling the story of Batman. First one takes place in the asylum. Second one takes place in the city. Third one takes place in Gotham. Second one takes place in Arkham City, which is like the city that the Gotham has made available to criminals to basically live in and whatnot. So that they're at least out of. I think that's the story.
I just want everyone to know that I really appreciate all the hard work. You know, watching you guys is like a night in. Watching my favorite movie. What was the name of that movie again? Oh yes, Attack of the Stupid Bungling Idiots who can't find an even bigger idiot running around.
Oh yeah, so the show's gonna be here at about 11. I always, if I'm going live with the guest, I'm always going to go live about an hour to a half hour early, just so I can do introductions, talk about the news. It's early enough. I haven't done my daily roundup of the news. I don't really have anything. I guess I could talk about. Braun activating the National Guard to quote-unquote administrative needs to help ICE. So I'm holding my breath to see where that all goes. But I don't like that. That's a bad thing, because that, never mind the slippery slope, that could lead to so much problems. And a lot of money, too. We gotta pay them.
Come over and see me. Don't look up when you open the door. It'll spoil the surprise and my experiment.
So I haven't seen figures. I just saw the headlines, but we're not talking a couple $1,000s a day.
Hey,
hello.
This is my me time.
Where's Gordon?
Wouldn't you like to
Over
know?
here!
Shut up!
Ah, you crazy bitch! Harley!
Ah!
What's he doing here?
Ah.
It's too early!
I'm sorry, Puddin'. Don't be angry with me.
So,
Mwah!
yeah, I don't like to see that. Soon enough, we're going to see Trump threatening to send National
Sorry,
Guard to
B-Man.
Indy
You'll
or
have to
something
find
like
another
that.
way. Bye-bye now.
And we're going to have to pay even more.
No way past the security gate. Gotta find another route.
So, yeah, I guess another thing I saw was that one of, I don't know who it was, but Jim Banks emailed. I saw somebody post that Jim Banks had emailed them back about redistricting and had said that he was against it. Or maybe it was Todd Young. I think it might have been Todd Young. I don't know about Jim Banks. But yeah, one of our senators replied to his constituent that he was against it. So that's at least good news. I like to hear that. You know, don't. I haven't seen anything about our other senator. But, yeah. I think it was Todd Young. Todd Young makes sense.
I want all the doctors rounded up. Search every inch of the medical building. I mean it. Search every room, every office, and every trash can. If another doctor tries to run and gets out of the building, then you won't. I'll just flood the rooms with happy gas and leave you to die. Hell, I may do that
Alright,
anyway.
just got a
Sounds
text from
fun.
Michelle that she's getting ready to join. So
Yeah.
perfect. Should have gone in there first. This one. Alright, I'm going to end my that there, as I think we're about to have Michelle join. Uh, oh yes, we rocking the merch today, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and theys and thems. Um, we first design. This is just our basic design. Doesn't have anything on the back, but this was cheaper. If you want a more intricate design, I believe we've got a sale going on through Custom Ink that you can find on my Facebook page. All right, give Michelle a couple more minutes. I'm excited. Michelle's awesome. She's really cool. Um, uh, all right, we'll be back in just a second. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself? Let's see here. Okay. Let's change these because we are back now. We are live, so do not say anything to get yourself into trouble. Do remember that you're a political candidate. We can say those things off stream, but yeah. Facebook. I don't know how many viewers we have right now, but I was live. I don't know if you saw, but I was live with Scott, Aaron Rodgers, with Who's Left
Yep.
last night for my debut stream and pilot episode. So you'll be episode 1 officially. Stream number 2. So I'm excited. I think I've got show notes that I can share with you, or
Sure.
I could also just blind go at them, and just sort of see where everything goes. I guess to start off with, let's do so today is 9/11. I think we should recognize that first of all. I didn't even know that until I saw a Facebook post and then looked at my clock and I was like, oh yeah, it is 9/11. And so we'll start with that, but let's start with the introduction. Who are you? Where are you? What are you doing here? Yeah, go for it.
Good. So I am Michelle Higgs, and I am running for House District 60, which is parts of Monroe, Morgan, and Johnson counties. I'm also founder of the Indiana Rural Summit, and we are a coalition that's organizing candidates and community leaders and volunteers to really amplify the voices of rural and small town Hoosiers. We find that a lot of those spaces are overlooked. And as we will be talking later with regard to policy and stuff, they are often ground zero for a lot of exploitative practices.
Yep.
And then the other thing that project that I've worked on is Organizing Indiana, which is a resource hub that I actually put together because when I was door knocking in 2024, a lot of times people would be like, "Oh, well, which groups can I get involved in?" And it's like at a certain point you forget the URLs and all of that, and
Yep.
so
Like, wait, are you Bob or Jane or Joe or Susan or
well,
what's your
and
name?
not only that, there are groups that are doing an amazing amount of work and have done that for the last, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And so when you have a moment like we're in where people are being mobilized and they just want to do something, it's very easy for a community to come together and then feel like they have to build everything from scratch when
Yeah.
actually there may already be a group in their area that is desperate for new blood to come in and help them. So really, that's part of what the Organizing Indiana is about. And so those three things are kind of interwoven in the sense that my campaign is really informing the work and what I am advocating for outside. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a first time candidate, uh, long time political person. Um, and my district's interesting, which I think is I can use to my advantage because I'm running in 53, which is South Madison, specifically Pendleton, um, and then on down to Greenfield, New Pal, and then I get some of the rural districts. So I've got like ex-urban or suburban, rural, um, and it's Pendleton's growing. We're growing fast. I can capitalize on that. It's mostly Hamilton County people coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I've got an interesting district. Um, and so yeah, so I feel a lot of that, and we'll talk about this, but I'm sort of like I'm not 100% affiliated with you guys. Well, I kind of am because the youth summit's sort of under you guys for now. But we're working with. I guess we'll talk about this now and just we'll highlight it and like let's promo it for a little later because I really think we should start with 9/11 since that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
today. And but we're. Do you want to talk about the youth summit, or should I, since I'm a part of it?
Well,
It was your idea, or should we just go with 9/11?
let's do 9/11, and then because
Okay,
that's actually going to inform the next part. So yeah, yeah.
sure.
And to be
Yeah.
honest,
So
I
okay, so let me do the traditional interviewer thing. So I was born in 2003. I don't know 9/11.
yeah.
Where were you when you heard Michelle, the first plane hit the tower? Something's going on. What were you doing? I mean, I remember asking my parents this, and my dad was, both of them were in school.
Okay.
I remember the carts being wheeled in. I think my dad was like on the steps somewhere.
Mm.
Or maybe sitting in like an office or something like that, and like he heard the news. So where were you when that happened?
So at the time, I was living in Los Angeles. And so with that time difference, I want to say it was uh, like 6 or 7 in the morning, or 7, and then 8. Like it was very early. And as a matter of fact, my morning routine was I would wake.
How old were you?
Oh, how old was I?
So or
Oh,
don't, you don't need to give me age, but like
no, no,
mid,
no.
like yeah, like
Yeah,
because my parents were in high school, right? They were
yeah. No, no,
born
no. I
in
was
the 70s.
right. So and you will meet my daughter when we talk about the youth summit. You will meet my daughter who is 30. Okay,
Okay.
and
Okay,
she
that gives me, so you were in your like mid adult life.
yes,
That's
yes, yes.
so you were working at that point.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yep. And
Okay.
I was up early. My morning routine was kind of having about an hour or so to myself, and I happened to be watching something previously recorded on TV. And as a matter of fact, my parents lived at the time in Martinsville, Indiana. And my phone rings and it's my mom. And my mom's like, Michelle, you need to turn on the TV. And I'm like, what? What? I'm on the TV. She goes, no, 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 turn on the news. And she had called me right after the second tower had been hit. I want to say, yeah, it was right after that because uh, she had been watching the news. Just she delivered meals with Sokoa at the time,
Hmm.
the coordinated meals for aged, and she had stopped at the Martinsville Senior Center, and I guess they have the news playing or whatever. And she happened to see the first building get hit. And again, everybody at that time thought, oh, a weird, bizarre accident, like what's going on? And then it was when the second one hit, like she's on the phone calling me. Um, and so what for us, the way that it impacted, which is a poor choice of words, I just realized, sorry. But um, we had a friend of ours just fly in the day before from England. And I was debating, do I wake them up because they're jet lagged, all of that, and your brain, it's like you're not understanding the gravity of a situation because it is so surreal. Then the next
Yeah.
part of that
Well,
was,
if I
oh,
can jump in for a
yeah.
second, not to take the conversation, I mean, and nothing can or ever should be compared to 9/11. Kind of like the Hitler thing. Like you know that old paradox, or not the paradox, but the faux pas, whatever. But like whenever somebody mentions Hitler in a conversation or compares something, brings up the first person to bring up Hitler in a conversation automatically loses.
Mhm.
It's kind of like 9/11, but like I think 9/11 or January 6th is kind of like our 9/11
Oh, that's interesting.
way.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
it has for us the question will always be, where were you on January 6th?
yeah.
What
And
were you doing? how did that impact your life? Because most of us, especially when you're talking about like Gen Alpha and later Gen Z, it's like 9/11. I've heard of it. We watched all the documentaries in school. We did all that jazz, but we weren't there. And so I think that's going to be the conversation in the next 20 years. Not that we'll forget 9/11, and we'll have these conversations every time, but like
Yeah.
we're gonna have these conversations on January 6th.
Yeah,
And it's like,
and every generation I think will have has something where it's like, where were you when this thing happened? Sometimes it can be a natural disaster, right? Talk about Katrina or
did you see the indie star, and it made national news of Fadi Kadora?
of which what is it?
Fadi,
Oh,
Senator Fadi,
yeah,
because he's from Louisiana, and he was homeless after Katrina,
yes, yeah,
and it changed his life because he
yeah,
moved to, like, that's just like, talk
yeah.
about a from oh shit to I'm taking this and helping people.
Well,
It's
and
awesome.
there's a profound vulnerability that hits, right? And so, like, one of the things I want to name too is Los Angeles seemed far away, except that two of the planes were headed to Los Angeles. So we were impacted by people that lived there were gone. But then also, when there was, uh, my parents would describe that Indianapolis Airport was where they were landing planes. So they were seeing planes lined up in the sky coming in. So again, that's a visceral thing of something had
Hmm.
shifted, right? And then the other thing for us in Los Angeles was we were in a flight zone because we live just north of Burbank. So there's an airport in Burbank, and then you also would have certain flights that we would see going into Los Angeles, LAX. For those, 3 days or whatever where there was no flying, I've never heard the skies so silent. And the closest I can explain that would probably be similar to COVID, when now nobody's out and you're going, everything is just, there's a stillness that's unnatural um, in that moment. So, yeah.
Yep. No, well, funny, you're a media person, and we're gonna do, so you do media, right? That's your day job, yes? Or
No,
side hustle?
no, not
That's
even a
your,
side hustle. Nope, nope. I don't do media. Don't do any of that.
I
No.
thought you, no, not me. I thought you did like graphic design stuff. Like, am I wrong or?
Yeah, no, I know how to do that. No, my background actually was working in
Okay, so
organizing. So yeah.
just let me pull up your
Now
website, because I thought it was like design, your
that's
website and stuff
that's
that
my
like
husband.
designed
Yeah,
by.
no, my husband does that.
Oh, Higgs Communicate.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Well,
he's
we were gonna. So
yeah.
if you, I don't know if your husband's there right now, but I I previewed a interview, like not an interview, a segment, um basically based on Political Experts React from the Pod Save America Bros, where Dan Pfeiffer watches
Oh yeah,
ads, because
yeah.
I've shot three now.
Okay.
And I was going to show you because I thought you were the Higgs and the Higgs
That yeah.
Communications,
No,
but we
that
can still do that,
still do it because I'll be honest, we tag team a lot. So he's like the technical one, but I
right?
look at it and I'm
You
like,
do
oh, let him.
creative,
So yeah.
yeah. That's
So
how my parents are like sometimes. But yeah, do you have anything else to say about 9/11? Because I've got a little thing that I'll do, but
I think I think at the time, like my daughter was 7, we were taking her to school, and there is again, I go back to any time these things happen, whatever they are, there is a profound vulnerability, and in that moment we refind our humanity. And so
oh yeah,
after that was when everybody had American flags up. There was a solidarity that happened that I think makes maybe our present political situation even more severe because we
oh,
remember coming together,
oh.
and now there's so much division.
I mean, we can even tie this further. I mean, yeah, we felt the sense, we being those on like the left and with humanity in our hearts for America, felt, community and unity. But like, I don't know, a third of the country was like, whatever, eh. And it's like, I don't know. I've been saying, I don't know. Don't quote me on this, but like, basically the same thing that you have, only in a little bit harsher, like not harsher, but graver terms. And that since we are live, I cannot get this clipped. But like, anytime after a crisis, during COVID, we'll stick with COVID. You know what?
Yeah.
There was so much humanity. Like, lines seem to have melted down, and like, there's like, okay, how do we just harness that humanity without needing a natural disaster or man-made disaster to do that? And then with 9/11, so uh, one of my friends knew somebody whose parent was a firefighter who hopped on a plane to go to New York. Or I don't think he like hopped on a personal plane, but like he was part of the after he was part of like the ground or the day 2 or 3, like basically the what the fuck happened here,
Yep.
because he was a firefighter, but like one of the sort of more admin type specialist firefighters. And so he did something with, I think he worked with the government, basically, in one of their disaster relief programs.
Probably trying
And
to
so
see
he
that.
did, yeah, so he did like day 2 um, stuff. And that was like, man, this guy from Indiana, or maybe they were living in Kentucky. I can't remember where they were exactly living, but this guy from the Midwest gets on a plane with a bunch of other guys from the Midwest, flies to New York, and spends a couple months out there, I think it was. And it's like,
That's
we don't see that in normal days, or maybe we do, and it's just never publicized, right? Like,
That's actually a better. I think that you're absolutely right. I think we are a country of people who quietly actually do amazing things for one another, right?
but we're also a country of people who fucking love
Yeah.
disaster.
Yeah.
Like, we don't love creating it necessarily, but like, if there is disaster on TV,
It's
your
hypnotic.
ratings soar.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and a lot of that too is because it just draws us to doom scroll, or when
Yeah, because you
I
got to know what's going on
yeah, and we've pretty much all had 24/7 news,
for the last, what,
well,
20 years.
something like that, and so it's all of your life for a good part of my life, and
Well, I
there's
mean,
so what do you fill it
wait,
with?
what decade were you born? Were you born in the 60s?
Yes, yep,
Okay.
and
So
I
you're like 20 years older than younger than my grandparents.
yeah, so yeah, I'm probably
Uh,
right between your grandparents and your parents somewhere.
yeah. So do you remember like the big brick phones that were like, the very first sort of mobile phones?
Oh yeah. I didn't have one. I was, too young but yes, I knew, and they were quite the status symbol. And my very first job in LA, I worked for a company called Arthur Anderson, which is no longer around. But do you remember hearing about the Enron scandal in any of your things, Enron?
Hearing, yeah, it was a financial scandal, wasn't
Yep,
it?
yep, yep. So,
Was it basically the very first rug pull?
oh,
If
that's a
you
good
know rug pull,
one.
if you know, like, where they set up something, but it was really nothing, or was it like the Bernie Madoff before Bernie Madoff?
It was, yeah, a bit of that, but it was definitely the Ponzi scheme. But I mean, it was really that thing of a private equity kind of situation, right?
Yeah, where they promised the
Buying
world
up
and
utilities.
couldn't.
Yeah, so that's why I'll be honest. That's why I'm very very upset when I
Do
see
you
her.
know Kim? Sorry, I've got chat open up. You know Kim Sailor?
Yes, yes. Hey,
She
Carol.
just said we didn't have enough money for those LL phones. Those phones meant you had money.
Oh, I never had. Yeah, no. Yeah, you had to have. You had to have.
And now you can get a cheap $60 phone, $25 phone if you're really desperate.
Yep. I,
Um,
I tease my two youngest. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, and we laugh about I have an old black rotary dial phone from years ago, and
I want one for the office.
they love playing with it. But I'm like, okay, here's the phone number. Now call it, and just watching them do the long thing is just so funny, so funny. Yeah, yeah.
Well, so you'll hear in one of my ads, I tape recorded it. I
Okay,
tape recorded, and then I used my phone to record the playback, and
okay,
so it's got that.
okay.
So yeah, why don't we? Since I'm
Into
really
it. Yeah,
excited about
let's get.
these. Um, we'll go in semi-reverse order. We'll start with the one I just released.
Okay.
It's about a minute. It's called basically my everyday dress. Let's share my screen. Pause this screen. Hopefully, you'll be able to see. You should be able to see. Yeah, you
Okay.
can see this.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, let's just hide you for right now. Oops, I'm still getting used to having dual monitors.
Oh yes, yeah, those are fun. Where's my cursor? Is what I call those.
Yeah, well, I've got mine up above. I feel a little like a stock pro, with those like long monitors.
Yeah, yeah.
I can actually turn the monitor I have long. Okay, well, I'm just gonna. There we. Whatever. Okay. I'm not gonna play with it too much.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Screen share. Okay. It should. Can you hear anything? I can't.
I'm not hearing anything.
Okay. This is what you get when you go live. You get all the technical difficulties. Oh, that's because I had muted the site.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't feel so bad now. See? When Gen Z has tech problems, I'm like, all right, I'm in good company. Are you hearing it?
I am.
Oh, I am not hearing it.
Okay. Well, poop. Uh,
I'm wondering because of if it's coming through your headphones. I'm just wondering if it's.
that was that. That could be it. What's your audio out? You can hear me.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you fine. Yeah.
Huh. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Let me actually just do a video because I can do videos.
I wonder about sharing your. Well, you are sharing your
I
screen.
was sharing a specific screen, so
Ah,
I
maybe
wonder
that's it. Maybe that's it.
here. I've got a
Yeah.
video.
Okay.
I'm Reese
There you
Axel.
go.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay. This is like the third time the stream's gonna hear it, but it's worth it.
Axel-Adams, and I'm running to be your. Oh. Oops. Let's change it to something a little bit more professional. Now, I don't know how Ethan Lawson and most of his Republican friends dress, but I can guarantee you it ain't like this. We need hardworking, everyday Hoosiers who know what it's like to have some grime on their face and boots on their feet. Not some fancy pants politicians who all they know how to do is push pencils and sit behind a desk all day. I'm Reese Axel-Adams. I've got the mud on my hands and the scars to prove that I know what I'm doing. So, I've only got one question for you. I'm in. Are you? Join me in helping to build a worker-focused future for our youth. One in which they can get a good education, whether it be in the union trades, for a company, or freelancing like I do. I'll see y'all guys later. Ciao.
This message has been paid for by Reese for District 53.
So that's what we've got. That was done in a day, so I don't want you to come at me for any editing things. It was also done in Canva entirely.
Oh, really?
I've got
Okay.
I've got DaVinci, which is like my very professional one, but that one takes fucking forever. And I'm like, I can bang this out in an afternoon. So I did. Same one for the other one, but I took a little bit more time. It's got your traditional more flashiness, but we'll save that one for the end because that one isn't released yet.
Who are you mostly wanting to target with that one? I'm assuming
The one we just the people who are like me who I'm unemployed right now, but I'm about to become a bartender at Shelby Street.
Okay.
So yeah, working with John Michael Jones and that crew, hopefully. But like I garden most of the day. I'm outside most of the day unless I'm in here doing politics stuff. And I'm well. That's the real target audience of the next or of the last ad we'll watch. But this one's sort of targeted at those people who know how to change the royal. The Tim Wallses, the people who Tim Walls was meant to get.
Yeah.
That's who we're meaning to get with that ad.
Yeah. I liked your reference to the work boots. There's a gentleman. His name's John Peace. He's down in Virginia, and he is working with campaigns, and they're working on a campaign called Work Boots Built America, and that just resonates really well for a lot of spaces.
Yeah.
I think we have to get back to the labor movement in
Yeah.
authentic space. So
well, and the reason we've been losing is because we lost the labor movements. We haven't been able to capture them.
What does a renewed labor movement for your generation look like? What do you imagine and want to see?
Okay, so it's twofold.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting back to the roots of what labor unions were, and mostly still are today. It's getting back to the roots of sorry, I'm trying to get another video pulled up, but technology. It's getting back to those roots. It's getting back to a labor union that's all for one and one for all, and the worker trades. It's getting. I live right next to Anderson. It's getting those factories back up and running. We've got a couple new factories there that are awesome, but we need more. And what I find fucking hysterical, that entire factory completely built anew. We have dozens upon dozens of empty factories that are just warehouses now. Come on.
Yeah.
Go into one of those. Sure, it's not the highest tech and might cost a little bit more, but
Yeah. No, it is that if you've got an industrial landscape, and especially where there already are, some derelict buildings, it's like, what does it take to redo those, repurpose those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I don't like it. And
Do you feel like you are uh, with your constituents when you talked about just such a mixed area, and I have that too. I've got the rural, the small town. Um, as we head closer into part of my Johnson County base is near Greenwood, and it's getting influenced by Indianapolis and Greenwood, right? So you have all
Yep.
of these things together, um, and so economic revitalization looks so different in all of those places.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and
I
I
mean,
think
we're getting so Pendleton is growing.
mhm,
219 off of 69 is really growing right now. But enough of that. I want to get to my second fold of the
yes,
union
yes,
thing. It's creating unions in the underrepresented areas. I'm talking, I'll be most provocative first. I'm talking sex workers, I'm talking fast food workers, gas station workers, uh, 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 grocery store workers, tech workers, the coding people in these small to medium sized companies. Uh, I'll do a little tangent. I think like startups and stuff like that can be more exempt. I'm not saying fully exempt them, but like
mhm,
those places need the flexibility to be able to, you know, start up
yeah,
and not have to be burdened with, always having to talk to some like and the also the idea is that the workers know what they're getting into when going into a startup. They're not
right,
expecting regular pay. They're not
right.
expecting all this and that, healthcare and benefits. So those are the two folds. We need to, and things like the what UNIS UF UCNF or something, and um, oh, what's the grocery? That's one of the grocery store ones. There's the fast food workers one, and so there are several that are actually doing some really good work. Um, but we need to bring those into the fold. We need to educate them. My boyfriend, his cousin, uh, bagger at a grocery store, was recently promoted to something. Was demoted because he had to take a few days off. Told management weeks or like a week or a day or a couple days in advance, a week in advance, whatever. Didn't do a jack shit about it, and so they ended up demoting him and doing all this stuff, and it's like I don't
That's
know. What do you
I think
expect to do? Um, and he didn't even know about the union. So I luckily was there to be able to be like, no, this ain't right, man. Talk to your union person, do this. And they were like, well, not them. The store was like, okay, sorry, we didn't mean to do this. You actually have those days off. I was like,
yeah, it is, and it is those types of things where I think one issue I would love to see come to get legislated would be the way that they do scheduling for a lot of these companies. I'm talking to
yes.
workers who get, maybe if they're lucky, sometimes 24-hour notice of a schedule. And
So when you
how do
say
you
schedule, you mean like,
work
what do
schedule?
you mean when you say?
I mean, like,
Oh yeah,
how
I
do you
thought you meant like uh, uh, schedule it like classing employees, 1099
oh, yeah.
server,
No, 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 no,
that stuff.
no, no, no. What I literally mean is you go and you figure out what your work schedule is for the week.
Yeah.
And there are many, many, many places where you can get, 24-hour, 48-hour
Yep.
notice. So you try and find childcare when they
I've done that. I did that in high school.
Yep. And so it really becomes problematic, and I feel like that is a starting point that would alleviate a lot of burden off of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
No, I agree. Okay. Well, I've
What's your next video?
I've got it finally uploaded to the
Okay.
drive.
Okay.
It's my launch video. It's gotten over 1,000 views. I'm really happy about it. It was edited. How was it edited? I don't remember how it was edited. Again, welcome to being live. There we go. We got it. Share video, Facebook video, show on stream. So this was my. I actually had help shooting this, so there is some moving shots. But most of it was myself and my camera tripod downtown Pendleton.
Okay.
Getting a little awkward as people walked by. Sorry, that opening, I did not work that hard on it, but my goal was to have my steps match the beat, and it took me like maybe a minute, 2 minutes to get it like just right, because I did this in Canva too, and they've got the slow down bar that's really easy. I love Canva because it's really accessible.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my request. I saw them, I knew what song I wanted, and
For too long, the youth of America have been ignored. Been told we're too young, too immature, that we don't know enough. For years, we have been kept out of the room, told that this is an adult's world, that we have to wait our turn. Well, as a 21-year-old and proud Gen Zer, I've got one thing to say to those people. Our time is now. The future of Indiana and of our great nation is young people. But for too long, those in power have ignored us. Instead, they've used politics to enrich themselves and their good old boys club. Damn the consequences to future generations. Many of us young people feel like we're listened to, aren't respected, and aren't accepted. I should know. I'm one of them. For too many years, I've been on the outside yelling in to people who just refuse to listen. And I'm tired. My voice is hoarse. So it's time for me to stop just yelling and to actually be in the room where it happens and make some change. And I don't know about you, but I think it's damn time we have a seat of our own at that table. I know getting into this room won't be easy. And Republicans will do everything they can to try and stop me because they are afraid of the power of young people. But I'm ready for a fight. I've yet to back down from one, and I don't plan on starting now. As they say, nothing worth having comes easy. And I sure as hell know that this won't be easy, but I'm ready. Like many in my generation, I'm unsure what the future holds. Whether it's rising costs, climate change, never-ending wars, or the worldwide threats to democracy. Many young people don't feel like they have a future. That's why I'm running, to build a future for our youth. One that empowers everyone. One where we all can thrive. And one in which the American dream, long since thought of as dead by our youth, can be a dream once again. So whether you live in a smaller town like Pendleton or in a bigger city like Greenfield, I'm Axel-Adams, and I'm running for Indiana State House District 53 to build a future for our youth. I'm in. Are you?
I don't know what happened there. That's on computers it shows as a full. On phones I don't know what happened with the E jumping down there. I was really happy. Well, I ended the stream as soon as I saw that. But I was really happy that my cat got an appearance.
Yeah.
That was some bee that we filmed. Um,
I
but yeah,
think that was effective to me. I mean, I'll be honest, it is a longer form, so you could say more things. I probably preferred that one to the first one you showed me.
yeah.
Mostly,
First one is mostly a digital ad. I have a long form or a short form long video
okay,
of it ready
okay,
to go
yeah,
ish. And then I think the one that I'm not surprised for you to hear that it's also not as funny, or I don't like it as much as the other one. But I think the one you'll really like my challenge, this is the new one. It's
okay,
the rough draft. I still need to add text and whatnot.
okay.
But yeah,
So do
so
you want,
we don't have to really get into that because I know you sent back some stuff and we can talk later about it. And that's like a month old.
yeah,
Big one I want to hear about
okay.
is the next
This is
one
new one. Okay,
because I finished like doing sort of the initial edits and transitions.
okay,
But this is the one with the tape recorder. I
okay.
fucking love it. Um,
This is me on a typical day. Outside, chopping firewood, whacking weeds, and trimming hedges. Oh, not to mention taking care of our sprawling garden.
I gotta edit that. And probably
I
replace
can't
the
tell you what a
audio.
typical day for Ethan Lawson
Yeah.
looks like, but I doubt it includes half of what I do. You take the outside work, combine that with the work I do inside cleaning up, or trying to, and cooking. I'm a busy man. Not to mention, I'm running a campaign. And while Ethan Lawson might have some legislative experience, I think I outclass him in world experience. And just like I'm whacking away these weeds in my garden, I'm gonna whack out corruption, incompetency, waste, fraud, and abuse in our legislature. When I'm elected, I'm gonna chop away at the waste. When I'm elected, I'm gonna chop away at the waste, fraud, and abuse in the Indiana state government. Because I know that when a big log gets chopped into chibble, it's a lot easier to handle. And it warms the fire. And unlike Elon Musk and his Republican Doge allies, I go in with precision. It's all about the right tool for the right job. I wouldn't use a weed whacker to chop this log up. I'm using a hatchet. So vote for a guy who's got a full tool chest and knows when and where to use what tools. I'm Axel-Adams, and I'm running for Indiana State House District 53 to build a future for our youth. I've got one question for you. I'm in. Are you? So vote for a guy who knows his tools. I'm Axel-Adams, and I'm running for Hamilton, Greenfield, New Pal, and some of the rural communities.
Well, okay, so
I'm in.
it's very much obvious that this is a very rough cut. I thought I downloaded the right one. At least that'll be my excuse. Um,
So what's some of the feedback that you've received on that?
this is the first time I've ever shown anybody this.
Oh, okay. I feel honored then. Thank you.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
you and everybody, I think a couple people are watching this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this one is a version of this is probably what's going to air if I ever have the money to air it.
Hmm.
Talking about my typical day, talking. Well, actually, the ideal would be this combined with the professional one because these were shot in the same day, thinking to be a longer, but it ended up being like 4 minutes, and so I cut it down to two individual ones. Um, so yeah, the idea is to have a version of both of those together, starting with this one, going to that one. Because the idea would be going from work to talking about this.
Right.
I I think my favorite part, and it was very much intentional, was the work shirt, the fuck racism shirt, and then changing into something more professional. And at the end, or maybe this is like a TikTok, like arguing with production about having to cover it up. It's like, come on, I want to say this.
Yeah.
They're like, but you got to be on TV, man.
Yeah, that actually might be a using humor might be a better angle on some of
Well,
the things.
so
Yeah.
I want to emulate Zora Mondani's
Hmm.
stuff. That's my goal.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the goal with this. I mean, so I thought I did a decent job.
Not to mention.
With
Oh, yeah, but
let's see where's Ethan.
half of what I.
Mhm.
I thought I did a good. I'll probably darken all of this as well, but I thought this was good. Sort of poking at Ethan without really attacking him. And then you've got the typical. Where is it? Do the typical, not black and white
Hmm.
there, and then throwing in the Palestine thing. I'll be honest, the watermelons on the shirt was a choice for the launch video. My at that time campaign manager, or interim campaign manager, um, and I talked about that, and we were like, no, let's go with watermelons to send that message.
Yeah.
If
Do you feel, do you feel like that those issues really do resonate with your constituents too, like pulling it? Because I know we've talked in the past about bringing in people who stayed out and didn't vote. Their values were
yeah, yeah. I haven't done any message testing yet,
Mhm.
um, but I think that there is definitely a place. There's obviously a place,
Yeah.
especially for capturing young people.
Yeah.
And it's the sort of thing where, like, I'll wear those shirts. I'll put a flag in my ad. I won't say anything necessarily, except on like some rare occasions. Um,
Yeah. I think that to me, when I look at ads that resonate, it's the things that either show me the person's very authentic and
yeah,
and has come to their convictions um, in an authentic way, um, or they're naming some of the problems and then either suggesting or offering solutions, or at least showing a commitment to not increase the problems, right? It's
yeah.
like, I'm not going to at least go in the wrong way. We may not have or know what a solution is yet, but I know it's not down that road, right? So,
Well, yeah, and it's that's all. I don't know if you meant to uh, uh, parlay into this, but that's part of this second part, right? With
yeah,
the whole Doge thing, and knowing which tools to use and when to use them. Um, so
you
so
might
yeah.
Yeah, you might want to consider. So you're using an optics of an axe and a weed whacker, which are both kind of a blunt force type of a tool. It would be
Yeah.
very interesting if you also did a shot of maybe you cutting one of those lovely looking tomatoes from your garden.
Oh
And
yeah.
because a tomato is so delicate that you use the wrong knife and you've destroyed it. So to me, that's a good
Well, so
surprise.
yeah, so I need to do a kitchen scene.
Yeah.
The idea is to show me like scrubbing the countertop or something, and I could do a scene of me cutting tomatoes because cutting tomatoes is very delicate.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a good visual.
So I like that suggestion. I knew I needed to add something. So yeah, I those are what I wanted to show you. Now
Okay.
let's get into the true interview. I don't know if I can hear you.
Can you? Oh, you can't. Can you hear me?
Let me. Oh, I muted the page for whatever
Oh,
reason.
there we go.
So let's
Yeah.
let's get into the interview. I don't. Can you see what I just rolled by, or is this only open to me? I don't know what you're looking at. Okay.
Um.
By
I,
the face, I don't think you saw it. So let's start. So you're running in District 60. I'll throw. Let me go to Ballotpedia and pull up the map for us so people can see where you're running. Um, but yeah, so why don't we start with talking about the challenges of running in a um, rural district
so
and
yeah.
running, having to run in a place like this, where how many counties do you serve?
Three.
Three. Yeah, I serve two, and like it's a fifth of one. Um, let's see here. There we go. Here, that's your district. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Where are you?
I live at the very most southern point in that district in Monroe County.
So
Uh,
right here-ish.
yeah, down,
Oh,
and then
so you're right near Hoosier National.
yeah. So Morgan Monroe, and then I'm near uh, the Oliver Winery and Butler Winery, Lake Lemon area. Yeah.
Yes.
And now what's
So
interesting,
okay. So let's
yeah,
let's see here. So you're down here.
yeah,
How many people live around you? Like in your area, whatever is your post office.
there's
How
only
many
about,
people?
yeah, there's only about what, 4,500 or so. Yeah,
So then we go up to what is this?
yeah.
Paragon,
So Paragon,
Parkville, Adams, Brooklyn, Monrovia, and then you do have 69 that runs through.
yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't have the numbers of population offhand in those.
Well, luckily I do.
There we go. See,
67,000 residents,
yep. And so,
and I can go a little further. You had 34, so you actually had almost a 50% turnout, which is really good in Indiana.
for Indiana,
Caveat.
it's really poor.
Oh, and there's you,
Yeah,
Michelle Higgs.
yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, gosh, look at this.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
all the way. This was a flippable district.
Hmm. Yeah, it was a competitive district.
Bloomington, come on,
Yep,
come on. Whoop,
yep. And
just saying.
what I will say though is, as far as a shared impact, the way that the district is now more of Morgan County. It's pretty much all of Morgan County except up by Mooresville. that's probably a truer sense of how, for example, going back up to the map to Paragon, they are more impacted by the decisions that are happening in Martinsville at the
Right.
council than they ever would be by decisions happening in Monroe County.
Yeah.
And that's part of why when I created the Rural Summit, we were looking at how the gerrymandered lines, it didn't really matter where the lines were. It mattered where your the people were, where you had aligned bases. And by aligned, I mean around issues. So you're talking about factories up by you. I'm talking
Yep.
about proposed data center in Monrovia,
Yeah.
and people are coming together. So yeah.
So to do more data thing,
Mm-hmm.
you lost,
Mm-hmm.
obviously,
Yep.
pretty badly,
Yep.
as I suspect I will be doing. But you held the line essentially from last year or from 2 years before.
Yeah.
In a year that saw Democrats slaughtered, I think that says something.
Thank you. Yes. I mean, that was a lot of work as a first time candidate. That was, I was just getting my name out and going out and talking to people.
Then also look here,
Mm-hmm.
41%, 36%. I don't like this. 24%.
Yeah.
24%. That's better.
So when we talk about the impacts of gerrymandered lines, and again, legislators selecting their voters instead of their voters selecting their legislators, that's a part of it. And case in point, I've been to many events where the Republicans, they don't need to show up. They don't need to talk to their constituents because they pretty much feel like their map does the work for them. And we all end up losing in those races. Um, you went away. Are you still there? So, yeah. Okay. Oh, I will keep talking. Okay. Yeah. So the again, it goes back to in these what we call red and rural spaces. Largely, part of running is reimagining what a win looks like. So when we talk about contesting every race, the more people run for office, and I don't just mean at a house or state level. I mean when they run for township trustee and county council and city council and commissioner, it gives people a reason to show up to vote because they are now seeing somebody whose maybe values better align with theirs.
Yeah. Yes.
And so part of it is getting out there, and being willing to run for office. And then I think the other thing is identifying that I see myself oftentimes as a messenger candidate. I'm out there to talk with people, to get them to realize that they are empowered to make a difference. I am amazingly proud of the people that I represent. There are communities, and it is across party lines. I mean, people, Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Independents coming together and realizing that they have to hold their electeds accountable, and they have to look at how the legislation is impacting them, especially the most recent state budget, which we've talked about before. Cutting Medicaid, cutting funding to local governments, and the local governments are just now seeing the ramifications of their budgets and how they're supposed to do the work that they're told to do, fix our roads and bridges and all that. And so I don't know if by you, but what I see oftentimes in Indiana is this scarcity mentality, this thing that we're all having to fight over the one slice of pie, while a very few get the rest of the pie. And then we're being told we just have to work harder. We're being told we just have to, not have as much pie. You only have that little sliver, and being grateful for that. And I'm not saying to not be grateful for things, but I am saying we need to realize that it is an artificial scarcity that has been created. And you rightly in your video named Doge and the cuts that they've made. And I was talking to somebody the other day who, they were under this thing of, well, in the next election or in 2028, we'll have another election for president and it'll swing the other way. And I had to remind them that with the cuts that Doge has done and the institutional devastation that's happened, it isn't going to just swing back. There are things that your generation is going to have to pick up the pieces for. And so,
Yep. Well, I always bring in Billy Joel here.
yes.
Oops.
Yep.
We didn't start the fire.
Yep.
But I think we can put some of it out. History often rhymes, but we can break that rhyme scheme.
Well, and the thing is, there may be stuff that we just don't, we don't necessarily need it to be brought back the same way. So I think that part of what you bring, and when I say you, I mean Gen Z, part of what Gen Z brings is an imagination for something different because you've not actually experienced, and again, going back to your video, we haven't experienced the American dream, right? So you're not trying to build back something that you've lost. You're trying to build something that is an imagination for what is a dream for you. And I think the more that you lean into that, it gives people something to vote for.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not just this is an entire another podcast that I think I'd love to have a panel on. Except we wouldn't have any fucking Scott Jennings like CNN loves to bring back on. You know Scott Jennings, right? From the CNN.
Oh, yes.
He's the former Bush guy. Oh. Trump's dick is so far up his ass, not to be that crass, but like there's no way you're not shilling for him so hard if he's not just absolutely on top of you. But anyway, more seriously, Biden and Harris to a large extent lost because people were fucking sick and tired of the vote for us. Why? Because we're not them? And it's like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Give me something. The economy. Economy shit. No, it's not. The numbers say it's not. I like numbers, but my real life experience says actually it is.
Yeah. And what does the stock market mean to people who don't have stock and who haven't been able to get the 401k, right? And so that's part of the problem. And when recently I was on a motorcade for Medicaid in the southern region. They just did one north, but in the southern region, when we went, as we were driving, it was, we're going to follow and see a Casey gas station, a Dollar General, a pawn shop, liquor store kind of thing, right? And you just start to see what we called the trail of destruction of these shuttered small towns. And that's the problem. And I'll even go so far as to say that I think Indiana isn't so much a rural state like, let's say, Montana would be or something. I think it is a state that has had too many shuttered small towns, and it's just they link together into creating more and more rural space. So yeah,
I could not agree more, and that actually gets us into our next topic about specifically running in a rural district. How big is your district? Like it's if you were to drive straight line.
Oh my gosh. It's depending on how you're driving, and now that we have 9, right? It's definitely a couple of hours each direction, depending on how you're doing it. I would say like an hour or so across.
Yeah.
But if you're going east west would be harder because it's all small roads. all
Yeah.
small roads. And
Yeah.
that's the thing too. You're winding in and out. A lot of the other thing too that I find again, if you need to make money in a small town, you're going to use speed limits, right? You're going to try
Yeah.
to have those speed traps. So how many of us have gone in and we're poodling along at 50, 45, and then all of a sudden it's like 25 miles an hour, boom, yeah. So, uh, and I think that's also sometimes the devastating effect, though, of our freeways when you have a
Yeah.
69 put in. Now, my hometown of Martinsville, you could sail right on through and never even stop because to get off, it isn't exactly intuitive how to get to the store that you see right there. The way that some of the exits are, and a lot of people they just bypass it.
Yeah. I don't blame them. I mean, what am I gonna do? Unless I absolutely need gas, I'm not gonna get off at one of those exits.
Yeah, and
Um,
yet, and I mean, I major shout out to our small town chamber of commerces because they do what I call the Herculean task of organizing their businesses to bring people to a place to do shopping and eating and all of that and discovery. And actually, that's something that I would love, Gen Z to like rediscover Indiana, rediscover these.
yeah.
And what does that look like?
I think Braun, not Braun. Don't want to give him any credit. Holcomb started like a Discover Indiana thing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, how long do you have? It's almost
I've
12.
yeah, I've got maybe another couple of minutes and then I gotta jump off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk quickly about prejudice.
Yeah.
You're in a rural district. You're a woman.
Mhm.
Not to assume, but it looks like you have a nicer house. I mean, wood paneling would assume a nicer house. You're obviously home, and so that means you have the flexibility to work from home. Um, so you're obviously privileged in a
Mhm.
sense, and I'm sure that you, as an intelligent person, recognize that, and honor and respect it. But you still are a woman running in a rural area,
Mhm.
probably heavily Christian. How does that play, and how have you seen that play out? I don't want to keep you too long because
Yeah,
maybe
let's
we'll have to do a part two because
I
I've
was gonna
still
say,
got
let's
other.
ask this question and go, you have 1 minute, right?
Yeah.
I
Actually, let's do the elevator pitch for the youth rural summit or the youth summit.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And we'll save the other one. Youth Rural Summit. So I reached out to a few young leaders that I know, you included,
Yep.
and we're going to. And I'm just facilitating and being a fly on the wall more than anything. My goal is that we can start to build out kind of a think tank on really how we engage young people. And part of that, and maybe this does tie in the prejudice thing, because part of the challenge that I see we have right now
Mhm.
is we have ICE going into our urban and where we have our immigrant population
And
and
the Supreme
disappearing
Court
people.
just said they can do
Do
it.
that, right? Based on how
Because
somebody
it's not race, it's race among several other things. I'm like, bitch, if I was doing,
says,
which, oh, look, I'm a contractor. I hang around my house all day with weed whackers and hedge trimmers.
yeah,
But I'm white with a tan and live in a nice neighborhood. I don't think ICE is going to be, he checks 3 of the 4 boxes. Let's pick him up, boys.
yeah. So you have that part of it happening. And yet at the same time, in some of our more impoverished communities, and by impoverished, I mean literally there are no jobs locally for people or very minimal and they're dwindling. And so now you have Homeland Security going, hey, we've got these excellent salaries and bonuses if you join ICE. So you have
Yep.
one group being targeted and one group being radicalized and invited into what is a perfect storm for divisiveness and
Yep.
and essentially, fascist overtaking. So there's a whole host of things, and I feel like the youth summit conversations might help inform the work that we do, both as candidates going into spaces, but also just community leaders. Like if we can give that feedback and say, hey, let's try some things. I want to also say that oftentimes our candidates that are part of the Rural Summit, we might be able to experiment with messaging or outreach or on ramps of civic engagement that maybe other candidates in their races they can't. And so I take that very seriously. That there is a role for that, and I feel like the youth summit is, again, going back to your thing, it is a tool. It is a tool that we get to bring into our toolbox. And I feel like it is going to be really powerful if we can take the thought processes that you all have and bring them to the bigger work in a meaningful.
Yes, I could not agree more with that. Um, it's it ties into something I'm gonna be talking about next time because I'm hungies, um, and you've got to go. So we'll end there. I appreciate that elevator pitch. Apparently, that was a pretty tall building that we were going up, but nonetheless, either that or we just were going like up and down, up and down, up and down. But I appreciate it because I think people need to know about it.
Yeah.
So you can head off. I'll do my end cap.
Sounds good.
But again, this is Michelle Higgs. Oh, you want to plug socials and website and
Yes, yes.
donation
So
link?
I'm on voteformichellehiggs.com. You can also learn about the Rural Summit at the indianaruralsummit.org. Check
And
out
is that's
organizing.
INDIANA, not IN?
Yes, yeah, INDI, yeah, full word, Indiana, ruralsummit.org, and then also organizingindiana.org for that. And then
Organizing Indiana Forward?
no, .org. Yeah, yeah. Organizing.
Organizingindiana.org.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm Reese, REECE 453 and then Reese for Indiana on all socials. We've got these awesome shirts, Michelle. If you
Very
want one,
cool.
I've got a couple that I might be able to give you. But you can also go to the fundraiser through Custom Ink.
Oh, yes.
That's where I got these. So pick up a couple. I think they'll ship them to you.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want one, they're like $25. Essentially what it costs to print. I think I get like $2 as a kickback into the campaign, but excuse me. On that note, I'll end the stream there. See you
Okay.
guys.
Yeah.